Okay, so the movie kicks off with this really cool idea. Some music is so powerful it can literally pull in souls from the past and the future. But there's a catch. It also attracts evil spirits. And then bam, we're in a church and this kid named Sammy stumbles in, all beat up, clutching a guitar. The priest, who's his dad, is super worried and basically tells him, "You have to give up this music. It's attracting evil forces." To figure out what the heck happened, the story jumps back one day. So we see Sammy with his band. They play this really emotional blues music, the kind that's so deep it's supposed to connect with souls. But his dad, the priest, absolutely hates it. Then we meet these two brothers, Smoke and Stack. These guys have a ton of cash that they stole from some big shot gangster. But even with all their money and power, they're not getting any respect because they're black. So they buy this piece of land from a white guy for a crazy high price, and their plan is to build a nightclub just for their community. They need a band for their club, and that's when they hear Sammy's music. They're totally blown away and immediately hire his band to play up their grand opening. They also hire these two Chinese guys who own a restaurant to handle all the food and drinks for the club. After that, Smoke goes to see his wife. And get this, she's into voodoo magic, which is why Smoke has been staying away from her. They immediately start arguing, and she's like, "The only reason you guys survived World War I is because of my voodoo." And Smoke just shuts her down, saying, "If your magic is so powerful, how come our daughter didn't survive?" That silences her, but she sees he's still wearing a pendant she gave him, so she knows he still loves her. Now, this is where it gets weird. The scene cuts to this injured, strange-looking man. He looks like he just escaped from something horrible. He hides out in this couple's house, and a little while later, these vampire hunters show up at their door. The couple lies to protect the guy and says they haven't seen anyone, but after the hunters leave, the man they were hiding attacks the husband and drinks his blood. And just like that, the husband becomes a vampire too. His wife just screams, the scene ends. Okay, back to Smoke and Stack. Their nightclub is all decked out and ready for the opening night. Smoke is super strict, telling the guard no one gets in without a proper ticket. But Stack is more chill. He wants the club to be a safe haven for their community, a place where people can relax, so he's cool with letting people in for cheap. The opening night is a huge success. The place is packed. Sammy and his band start playing, and everyone is just lost in the music. And then we see them, the souls, drawn in by the powerful music. But they're not the only ones. Those three vampires, the one who turned the couple, show up too. But since they're vampires, they can't just walk in, they need to be invited. When they ask for permission, Smoke just shuts them down. He's like, "Nope, you're white, and you guys have been treating our community like dirt. This is our place now." The vampire's like, "But we have a ton of money. We were just drawn in by the music, and we'll spend a lot." But Smoke doesn't budge. So the three vampires just go outside and start singing. So after a while, Smoke and Stack's friend Mary, who they grew up with, gets into a fight inside the club and storms out. And who's waiting outside? The three vampires. The female vampire tries to sweet-talk Mary like, "Hey, get us in and we'll give you these gold coins." But Mary notices the main vampire is just staring at her, drooling. And then, bam! He just attacks her, bites her, drinks her blood, and now Mary's a vampire too. So Vampire Mary just waltzes right back into the club, gets permission to enter, and then goes straight for Stack. She bites him, drinks his blood, and turns him into a vampire. Smoke sees the whole thing and shoots at Mary to save his brother, but the bullets do nothing. She just laughs and disappears. Smoke is completely heartbroken, but then his voodoo-practicing wife shows up and is like, "She's a vampire now. That's why the bullets didn't work." And right on cue, the security guard, who went outside for a smoke break, gets attacked and turned into a vampire. When he tries to come back in, he has to ask for permission. Smoke's wife immediately knows what's up. The guard's like, "Fine, just give me my pay for the night." But as Smoke reaches out with the money, the guard tries to bite him. Smoke shoots him to save himself. Inside, Stack, who's now a full-on vampire, is about to attack everyone. But Smoke's wife throws garlic juice on him, and it hurts him like crazy. She then gives everyone a crash course on how to survive a vampire apocalypse. She's like, "Garlic is your best friend. Throw it at him, eat it. To kill him, you need silver or wood. And if anyone asks for permission to enter, say no. Humans don't need permission, vampires do." Outside, it's a total nightmare. All the people Smoke kicked out of the club have been turned into vampires by the original three. They're having their own vampire party and just waiting for the people inside to come out so they can have a feast. The main vampire, the first one, starts trying to convince Smoke and his crew to just give in and become vampires. He's like, "It's great. There's no racism, no death." He even reveals that when a vampire turns someone, they get all their memories. So he knows that the couple he turned were actually planning to rob Smoke and Stack because they couldn't stand seeing black people succeed. He's like, "See? Humans are terrible. Just become a vampire." And then he says,
Fine, if you won't join us, just give us Sammy. His music is the real prize. Then the vampires threaten the Chinese lady, telling her they'll go after her daughter. She gets super mad and challenges them to a fight, which accidentally gives them permission to enter the nightclub. And all hell breaks loose. The vampires attack, and in the chaos, Smoke's wife, the Chinese lady, and Sammy's blues mentor are all killed. The saddest part is that Smoke has to kill his own wife. His brother, Stack, attacks her, and before she can turn, Smoke has to stake her through the heart. Sammy and his bandmate try to escape, but Remick, the head vampire, stops them. At the same time, Smoke is fighting his own brother, Stack. Remick bites Sammy's friend, who tells Sammy to just run and save himself. Sammy, in a desperate move, smashes his guitar over Remick's head. The guitar has a lot of silver on it, and it causes Remick so much pain that all the other vampires feel it too, giving Sammy a chance to escape. Just as Remick is about to attack Sammy again, Smoke comes out of nowhere and stakes him right through the body. Remick dies, and all the other vampires are in shock. But just then, the sun starts to rise. All the new vampires who didn't know they needed to hide from the sun just burst into flames and turn to dust. After all that, Smoke tells Sammy to get out of there because he knows the gangsters whose money he stole are coming for him. And he's right. A bunch of gangsters show up, and Smoke goes out in a blaze of glory, taking them all down in a gunfight. But he gets shot up pretty bad and dies thinking of his wife and daughter. And that's when we see Sammy stumbling back into the church with the head of his guitar, which is where the movie started. His dad tells him to give up the music and pray, but Sammy just takes the guitar head and leaves. Then, in a scene after the credits, we see Sammy 60 years later. He's an old man, but he's still playing the blues, singing his song. And that's how the movie ends.